Hello, it's a lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present our top stories in the news tonight. UPND officials in KAMPASA area of CHONGWE district differ over land. MASUMBA calls for the empowerment of UPND cadres. Business owners in Lusaka toast the end of load shedding. In international news, 2 people killed in anti-junta clashes in Guinea. And in sports news, a body of Ghanaian international Christian ATSU found in ruins of devastating earthquake in Turkey.
Are you looking for a prime land where to build your dream house? There is a beautiful corner plot, 50 by 47 meters in State Road area. For viewing and purchasing of the same, call SGK Property Company on 0966 610755 or 0762 166018. Secure your future by settling in a nice and peaceful area.
Hello again, the news in detail. Some business owners in Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, in the central business district, say that their businesses have improved with the ending of load shedding, which was announced by ZESCO on the 9th of February 2023. Those in the printing and photocopying business explained to Camnet News that during the period of load shedding, business was bad. More in this report.
Load shedding undermines the economy and affects most vulnerable members of the community, including small and medium enterprises. The country, however, experienced load shedding from the 4th of January until the 9th of February, which saw many businesses crumble, with the majority of citizens agonizing. However, with the ending of load shedding as announced by the power utility ZESCO, business owners explain that they are now able to make profit, as was the case before load shedding. Shadrick Nkole, who runs a stationery store, tells Camnet News that business was harsh during load shedding.
We do printings, photocopying, stationery business. And you know, without electricity, we can't work. So we just used to come here, stay from 7 maybe to 18, nothing, just seated. But now at least everything is easy.
He is, however, happy that with the ending of load shedding, businesses have been improving.
Yeah, of course. Now that load shedding has ended, everything is back to normal. Businesses are going just fine. When there was load shedding, nobody could work for 6 hours a day. But at least everything has come back in place. We are making profits. Survival has been easy now, I think. Yeah.
Others shared similar views.
Okay, since the load shedding ended, we are now experiencing the fair schedule that we used to, because when there was no power, when we used to experience load shedding, we never used to work properly.
Meanwhile, social economist Kelvin Chisanga also explains that power outages affect businesses at any level, hence affecting the economy too.
We have a reduction in the power deficit that we've actually been having over time. Maybe just to give you a context, we had a 20% reduction in the enemy production, all because there was the shedding component which actually was under play. So if we have a situation where power has actually been sufficiently provided to all the sectors in the economy, that brings a different aggregate demand. And what we are seeing right now is that our economy is so much on the component of power. If we have a sporadic supply of power and we are not of that surety, in essence, when it becomes a very difficult situation for us to actually counterbalance some of the effect that we are able to see in the economy.
For now, the business community hopes that load shedding will not be among topical national issues anytime soon. Beatrice Chabaya, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Floods in Lusaka's Kamala South Ward 5 have forced the closure of a clinic prompting residents to raise concern on the need for authorities to find a lasting solution to the problem. Those interviewed by Camnet TV News say they are now being compelled to cover long distances in order to access health services. They have since appealed to the government to put up a better drainage system. Details in this report.
Seasonal floods have always been a challenge for people in many Zambian communities, with Kamwala South, Ward 5 being among the most affected areas. Floods have compromised the health delivery in several communities, and in Kamwala South in Ward 5, as the health center has submerged in water, thereby making it impossible for people to access services. Kamwala South Health Post has been closed, and residents have been directed to go to other health facilities such as Chawama First Level Hospital and Kawata Clinic in case of emergencies. Some residents spoken to by Camnet TV say the flood problem is undermining access to health care.
From here, clinic in Chawama, Mambra Saba, sometimes busy. Mamuntungaru, I'm the transport here, send ambulance. Or maybe me, Mama didn't young to fast supporting. Sabati, a Bulapano. So government is management of the money because the death management. Right now, for instance, now, whatever music is what you have to manage, so that in so government right now,
Angel Muntanga calls on authorities to find a permanent solution and has since appealed to Government and Disaster Management Mitigation Unit DMMU to come on board and help address the problem.
But so therefore government won't be able to Africa season rainy season. But to Africa wami epo winu hapa bapanga ma drainages twalikwata good crest mo kuda kwaliwa bombe drainage iraira bomba fe winu so nga bapangira fe drainage yakuma pano it's about 100 meters from here up to bombe drainage bapanga winu then tito aisa ishiba ko bati amesha kala pita winu next time not if barereka rainy season ero bambo ku badmu ero bambo kuposa kwa amana tirata 3-4 yao.
Sampa Mulenda reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Confusion has erupted as officials from the United Party for National Development UPND in Chongwe district have differed over land matters in KAMPASA village. Earlier, some settlers of KAMPASA vowed not to vacate the land they have opted to allocate to themselves, saying the land in question does not belong to GHANAIAN, as claimed by Area Member of Parliament Sylvia Masebo. But another group led by UPND Madido Ward Chairperson Johnny Renda has come to the defense of Chongwe Member of Parliament Sylvia Masebo and accused the other camp of using impunity to grab land. More in this report.
Land administration in Zambia has continued to be a pressing issue, and there has been disharmony between the Ministry of Land and local authorities, including the traditional leadership. Land wrangles in KAMPASA village of Chongwe district have re-emerged. KAMPASA village is hosting several families on a 20-hectare space, but with population growth, other problems have emerged. The latest development is that the land they are currently occupying can no longer accommodate everyone, hence they have resorted to go back to the land they were prevented from occupying. Recently, some settlers, among them some United Party for National Development officials, claimed that the land in question does not belong to GHANAIAN farms, further accusing Area Member of Parliament Sylvia Masebo of conniving to disadvantage the locals.
Kapena mzaleta ba police because ba police ndio amene mwasenzeza jabe swazi banoziba muwatenga just because ati tinakufaka manje muri papawa muwatenga te ba police mwasenzeza kumenya abantu bali bano but ma foreigners bankala bali peaceful mongati mazambian we vestalo chao but hazard now tatinkiwa navo talema. That's why tikambati mwamene wanafera banzatu baja batatu banapaiwa kuja nice mzatu paira pamene paja stitch up.
We want to see that smile continue from now, so we don't want anyone to come and disturb people of KAMPASA. Please, Honorable, leave us.
Those are human beings. It's not that maybe if you are a minister or whatever, then you neglect people.
Meanwhile, another group from the UPND under Madido Ward has come to the defense of the parliamentarian and the said landowner.
yeveni kani boza wa honorable asabana mezio tipelango na pasarandi yeveni ya boza iyanangene parandira mampamvu za ukadarizimu imene inalesede na wa president kodu ukadarizimu wa president fumu yatu na lombo kakusewenza Mzambia.
And also let's not accuse the MP, because the MP has got nothing to do with the private land. The owner of the land is the one who's supposed to, if it's to report to the police, neither to go to the court, not the MP. So whatever is happening there, if people there have encroached into that land, then it means the law shall take its own course.
They are accusing the other camp of having people belong to the Opposition Patriotic Front, alleging that they are portraying acts of cadarism and acts of impunity with the view to grab the land.
Omene nizibira ijalandi, landi ja ni ya mwine wake. Kuchoka nariti ni ya mwine wake, ni ya muzungu. Eni olopamene tinkara amene kaja ka 20 hectare kaja ka ngono kaja. Banachito tipempera ba MP. Kuli mwine wake muzungu. Eni pali no time mutangena na force kuti chitenge ijalandi. Mu PF tinapiyesa futi pamene bija binabakanga. Nangalero pabwera bwanji same system same leaders yenze mu PF ndiye same leaders again yangena futi muli jansanga na force yao why bafuna kuononga zina ya president futi why bafuna kuononga chipani.
And debate if the police can do it investigative nicely. There were 52 plots which are remaining on that 20 hectares. You sold them instead of you looking after for the people that are staying there on a transit called PAMSASA. You want to use them now so that you start selling again the same plots over illegalities. Jateo and Betty, you are PF and you gave a tough time. Not even a single point the minister or honorable promise I will give you this land. So as a ward chairperson, the illegality which is happening that side is uncalled for. The president has declared to say there is no one should do illegal.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Challenger Ward 8 Councillor Ruben Mwenya has called on local authorities to stop permitting an unnecessary change of land use from play parks or open spaces to any other use. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Mwenya laments that recreation facilities play an important role in creating a conducive urban environment, but regrets that play parks are poorly managed by the local authorities. He has noted the need for the country to have as many recreation centers as possible to prevent children from indulging in illicit activities.
It is very unfortunate that currently, I think across the country, across Lusaka, we are not really seeing the effectiveness of recreative facilities or recreative activities. As we speak right now, 90% of play parks or 90% of facilities that are supposed to be hosting these activities have been sold illegally because of greedy. You know, people have sold these places for money, for getting the future of these youth, these young people that we have around. It is very unfortunate, and I pray that one day you can also help us in this campaign to make sure that we claim back every piece of land that was meant for the youths to be given back to the community. You see, this government has brought in skills, free skills that are supposed to be given to these young people. But at the end of the day,
Ruling United Party for National Development, UPND Lusaka Province Youth Chairperson Anderson Banda has charged that assertions perpetrated by the opposition Patriotic Front that the UPND is not caring for its youths are malicious and highly politicized. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Banda wonders why the opposition would want to act as saviors when it failed to sustainably empower youths when it was in office. He adds that the PF are playing outdated politics with a high level of hypocrisy. He says the PF are trying to incite youths by creating an impression that the ruling UPND is not doing anything to safeguard their interests. More in this report.
Of the country's population comprising youth and having largely backed the ushering in of the new administration with the hope of earning more money, securing more jobs and paying less taxes. Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has on several occasions shared his administration's high expectation of Zambians on issues of jobs for youths, higher education support, skills and business empowerment, and a wider inclusion in key government functions. However, the opposition Patriotic Front has on different times alleged that the ruling United Party for National Development have neglected the youths. Recently, a group of youths protested against the high cost of living at the residence of PF presidential aspirant candidate Dr. Chishimba Kambwiri. Contrary to the arguments being put across that the opposition UPND has neglected the youth of this country, UPND Lusaka Province Youth Chairperson Anderson Banda says the ruling party has a clear direction on addressing issues affecting the youth. Mr. Banda says the works that the UPND administration is doing can be seen through various empowerment programs across the country.
UPND has got a clear direction on how to empower the youths, on how to alleviate the challenges that was created by selfish leaders then, who were busy enriching themselves, empowering themselves, employing themselves at the expense of majority Zambian people. This is what UPND is working on. As I speak right now, more than 15,000 youths are being trained in various institutions. They are training in various skills at Notec there, Lusaka Trades, and many other training institutions for free. They are getting different skills.
He says allegations by the opposition that the ruling party has neglected the youths is malicious.
The assertion created, the impression being created by the opposition that UPND is not caring about the youth, I think is highly malicious and is highly political, and I would want to urge the youths not to take any political player serious, because some of these people who are claiming that UPND is not caring for the youths, they were in charge of this country for 10 years. They were there as cabinet ministers. They were there as president. But today, they are claiming to be the saviors. What is it that they never did in their 10-year rule that they want to do now, that they want to point at UPND that's not doing right? So to me, that is high levels of hypocrisy and the outdated type of conducting politics, because they failed to improve anything. They failed to empower the youth with credible empowerment in their rule of 10 years. And now UPND is in power less than 2 years. It's trying its best, and they're trying to incite the youth, bring the youth to their homes and create an impression. I think youth of Zambia are very intelligent. They are able to see what is right and what is wrong.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The opposition leadership movement has urged the government to follow the law and ensure that Konkola Copper Mines KCM is managed in a manner that will benefit citizens. Addressing the media Saturday, party president Dr. Richard Silumbe says the party is concerned with the revelation by the government that it is considering returning KCM to Vedanta Resources Limited. He says the giving back of KCM to Vedanta will not benefit the poor Zambians, but a few cliques in the UPND administration and surrogate civil society organizations. More in this report.
Contentious issues surrounding Konkola Copper Mines KCM have triggered diverse concerns, has caused for Vedanta Resources Limited to return to the giant mining firm intensify. However, various stakeholders, among them the opposition leadership movement party, are concerned with its return. Addressing the media Saturday, the opposition party president Dr. Richard Silumbe urges the UPND administration to follow the law and also ensure that KCM is managed in the manner that will benefit citizens.
We have seen a lot of sponsored people around talking about rooting for Vendetta to come back and take over KCM. We as leadership movement, we are very much worried because we know that what Vendetta did to the Zambian people was very bad in the previous regime, and continuation with such kind of a company a foreign investor on the precept that we as Zambians, we have no capacity, according to what the New Dawn government portrays itself. It's very sad because we see these people coming under different conditions, backdoor conditions, where they should be able to recover the monies that they had spent sponsoring the current regime. So we are very sad and saddened that the New Dawn government is going ahead, according to the rumors, to give back to Vendetta the mine.
KCM was placed under provisional liquidation in 2019 by the previous administration and forced Vendetta out of the investment. It had alleged that the company was paying too little tax, among other things. Vendetta challenged this action by commencing a lawsuit until the ruling United Party for National Development opted for out-of-court settlement. Calls for an Indian investor, Vendetta Resources Limited, to return to KCM management have grown exponentially, with civil society among them. Advocate for National Development and Democracy, through its executive director Samuel Banda, insists on the return of Vendetta, adding that the country has no option but to hand it back.
Contractors, suppliers and small businesses, they have closed down because the mines are not operating. Hence, it is our desire, and we feel that it is time for the government to act promptly on these two strategic mines.
At the end of it all, the hope is for government to make a decision that will be in the best interest for the country. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Former Mufumbwe constituency Member of Parliament Stephen Masumba has urged the United Party for National Development leadership to empower its cadres because they contributed to the party's victory in the 2021 polls. Mr. Masumba, who is a UPND member, says 2026 is fast approaching and the UPND will need its cadres to help mobilize voters. He tells Camnet News that as a loyal member of the party and someone who speaks his mind, he believes there is a need to ensure that youths are made to benefit from various empowerment programs the government is implementing.
There is actually a need to ensure that we zero in to help the cadres. We need to help the cadres like yesterday, because there is this inertia, and because people are coming from a background where they are insinuating, there are all these innuendos because of this, the former corrupt regime that was there. Just because our friends used to eat, so even us, we must continue to eat. I think that is the notion which is in them. And so that is why I'm saying that let's manage it properly. And by saying managing it properly also is obviously to ensure that all these mechanisms that the president has put into place, the environment that the president has put into place, say for example, the issues of the CDF, we must get down on the ground to go and sensitize, including our members. Our members must be a beneficiary to this CDF empowerment. Our members must be a beneficiary to all these business opportunities. They must as well be given an opportunity, because they kicked out these people out of power with a view that they must also be given space to stand in and to trade just like any other ordinary Zambian. So to me, the answer definitely is that we need to pay special attention to the cadres.
The Operation Young Vote Executive Director Guest Nyirenda has encouraged the Patriotic Front not to be divided regardless of the outcome of its elective conference this year, because Zambia needs a strong opposition. Various stakeholders in the political movement have predicted that the PF elective conference will lead to division and factions in Zambia's major opposition political party. But Mr. Nyirenda says only time will tell if the PF will be more divided after the election, but that at the moment he is happy with the manner it is handling the build-up process to the elective conference. He says the PF must avoid politics of names and make sure it holds a free, fair and credible intra-party election to earn the trust of the people.
Front, how they have handled themselves with regards to the convention and the number of the many candidates who are vying for this particular position. For us, it's quite encouraging, especially that it is promoting the intra-party democracy. The intra-party governance will be able to be strengthened by what the Patriotic Front is doing. But whether the convention fails or the convention will bring other divisions, I think that is a story for another day. However, what the PF currently is doing, it will actually build the trust and confidence of the Zambians that this party is able to elect its leaders in a very democratic way, in a very transparent way, in a very accountable way. And that's what Zambians are looking for, not the alpha and the omega, not the big man syndrome. So this will help the Patriotic Front gain the confidence of the Zambians. But where it comes to whether now there will be factions, the party will be more divided than now, that is another story, that's another thing. But we encourage them that they should not divide, because we need the Patriotic Front as an opposition.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We'll take our first break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Are you looking for a prime land where to build your dream house? There is a beautiful corner plot, 50 by 47 meters in State Road area. For viewing and purchasing of the same, call SGK Property Company on 0966 610755 or 0762 166018. Secure your future by settling in a nice and peaceful area.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Government wants CHONGWE Bird Sanctuary in Kalulushi District investor ready by applying a proper business model and have it back as a functional retreat facility for tourists visiting the Copperbelt province. Speaking when he toured the facility, Tourism Permanent Secretary Evans Muhanga said CHONGWE is the only bird sanctuary in the country and the ministry will not allow it to be a sleeping giant and when it can service the various tourists visiting the towns in that part of the country. He said there are a number of Congolese nationals that spend a lot of money in shopping malls, especially in Kitwe, who could spend a little more on touring the facility once it is revived. More in this report.
Situated around a small lake famous for its varied bird life, CHONGWE Bird Sanctuary is an area of Mayomba woodlands and grasslands covering about 450 hectares. The bird sanctuary, though not currently functional, has been given the protection of a national park. It is to this effect that government, through the Ministry of Tourism, wants to have the bird sanctuary investor ready by having it back as a proper retreat facility for tourists. Speaking while touring the sanctuary, Tourism Permanent Secretary Evans Muhanga says that once this is achieved, the sanctuary will create the much-needed employment for the young people as per government's desire.
Bed sanctuary. So we don't want to end by just mentioning it by name. This is why we have taken time as a team to say let's go and see what this bed sanctuary is in terms of the current status where it is and what we can do about it going forward. One of the areas strategically which we have to develop is, of course, the Chamber Bed Sanctuary itself. So our role here is to assess the area and see the best business model that we can be able to work with to develop is, of course, the Chamber Bed Sanctuary.
And Kalulushi Member of Parliament Kampamba Mulenga says it is encouraging to see government taking interest in the sanctuary, stating that once the facility is reactivated, it will bring about other developments in the area.
So just to also appreciate your members for also coming here. I hope it will just not end here. My appeal is that from all your able departments, maybe the way forward for this sanctuary for me, having been here for a very long time, is to maybe package it. If we could allow us to package it and really allow people to come and explore.
Meanwhile, Department of National Parks and Wildlife Acting Director Andrew Chomba says that his department wants to restock the sanctuary with wildlife and work on the basic infrastructure.
All aware that is a mining area with a lot of people that do business here and probably have nowhere to go on weekends to spend quality time after a hard day's work. So this place has that potential to provide recreational facilities. But in doing that, as a department, we would like to see that the area is restocked with wildlife and do the basic infrastructure needed for any investor to come and put up camping facilities, recreational facilities.
Beatrice Chabaya, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Police in Lusaka have arrested 36 people, among them 5 females, in an operation targeting youth-led gangs or junkies in Kamanga compound. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale says the operation was conducted between Friday, February 17, 2023, around 20 hours, and Saturday, February 18, 2023, around 02 hours. Mr. Mwale reveals that one of the suspects was found with large quantities of suspected cannabis, and the Drug Enforcement Commission has been engaged for further investigation. He adds that the suspects are aged between 17 and 35 and are detained in police custody for the offense of idle standing and disorderly conduct and are waiting to appear in court soon.
Police in Lusaka arrested 36 people, among them 5 females, in an operation targeting junkies in Kamanga compound. The operation was conducted between February 17, 2023, around 20 hours, and February 18, 2023, around 02 hours. One of the suspects was found with large quantities of suspected cannabis, and the Drug Enforcement Commission has since been engaged. All the suspects, aged between 17 and 35, are detained in police custody for the offense of idle and disorderly. They will appear in court soon.
Global Reach Leadership Institute President Pat Tamakloe has underscored the need to mentor young people so that they have the right perspective about leadership in various spheres towards creating a better society. He says the Institute aims at bringing a shift in the mindset of young people with regards to leadership and what it is about. Speaking during its launch in Lusaka Sunday, Mr. Tamakloe states that the mandate of the Institute is to ensure that leadership development is achieved in Zambia in order to excel in every aspect of life.
That deals with people is going to need to have an opportunity to get coached, trained, or mentored. And Global Reach Leadership Institute Zambia Limited is going to be well equipped with their coaches who are certified organizational change agents. Their job is to be able to integrate with all those who desire to have a transformation in their organization. whether you're a SME or you're in the government sector and you have a team of people and you need to grow those leaders, guess what? That's what GLI Zambia is intended to do, to come in and help you to be an extension of effort. They come to help you accomplish your vision, your desires, whatever you want to do. And you have gaps in your organization, whether it's retention, whether it's people problems, process problems, or performance problems. They have the skills to be able to help you accomplish those objectives. So that's what this launch is about, a foundation to get you to the next level of excellence in your organization.
This is Camnet Television News. We'll take a second and final break. Join us for more news after the break.
Are you looking for a prime land where to build your dream house? There is a beautiful corner plot, 50 by 47 meters in State Road area. For viewing and purchasing of the same, call SGK Property Company on 0966 610755 or 0762 166018. Secure your future by settling in a nice and peaceful area.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. In international news, 2 people died Thursday in clashes between anti-junta protesters and security forces in Guinea. A municipal official and relatives of the deceased told AFP, with the country's opposition coalition reporting many arrests and injuries from live ammunition. Protesters took to the streets to demand a return to civilian rule and the release of arrested activists and other political prisoners under the military junta that seized power in the West African nation in 2021. Young demonstrators hurled stones and erected barricades in the suburbs of the capital, Conakry, as police officers fired tear gas to try to disperse them. The gunfire was also heard. Abdul Karim Ba told AFP his 18-year-old nephew had been shot in the neighborhood of Hamdallah and died before he reached hospital. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
At least 2 people have died in the suburbs of Conakry, Guinea's capital, during clashes between demonstrators and members of the Guinean security forces. A rights group, the National Front for the Defense of the Constitution, FNDC, had called for demonstrations to demand the release of 3 of its leaders and a return to civilian rule. We're all Guineans. We're not against the demonstration, but the demonstration must be coordinated. And I appeal to the Guinean government, to the transitional government, coordinated by the president of the transition, Mamadi Doumbouya. I call on them to do everything possible to ensure that at least the politicians and civil society come around the table to discuss, to say what they want. Last October, the military government proposed a shorter 24-month timeline for transition to elections. Following criticism, the junta banned all public demonstrations.
The reopening of land borders between Ivory Coast and its neighbors was greeted with joy by many on the streets after the government's announcement on Wednesday evening. Since March 2020 that the Ivorian authorities closed all borders after the country was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm very happy. It allows me to take my bus from Niamey to Abidjan and from Abidjan to Niamey, because it's been 3 years since I returned to Abidjan. It hurt me a lot. Today I'm happy because I'm going to return to Abidjan and find my old friends. Ivory Coast borders Liberia, Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso and Ghana. Border closures led to economic hardship along towns reliant on cross-border trade. It is the Ghanaians who are our customers. With the closure of borders, they could no longer come and buy our products. So many of them have gone out of date. As we heard yesterday that the borders have been reopened, so this morning I brought a truck for the shop there. We really hope that it will start to work again. Ivorian sea and air borders reopened after only a few months, but land borders remain closed until this Thursday.
It's now time for sports news. sports news tonight, search teams have uncovered the body of Ghana international soccer player Christian ATSU. His agent revealed on Saturday. ATSU had been missing following the devastating earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria. The remains of the soccer star, who had been playing for Turkish Super League club Hatayspor, were found amid the ruins of a luxury 12-story building where he had been living in the hard-hit city of Antakya, Hatay province. His relatives have gathered at the site waiting by the wreckage, but all to dashed hopes when his remains were found. The death toll from the 7.8 magnitude quake on the 6th of February in southeastern Turkey and northern Syria passed 43,000 on Friday and was certain to increase as search teams found more bodies. ATSU, 31 years old, who previously played for English Premier League clubs Chelsea, Newcastle United, Everton and Bournemouth, signed for Hatayspor from Saudi Arabian side Al Raid FC last year. To end Camnet television news, the headlines once again. UPND officials in KAMPASA area of CHONGWE district differ over land. MASUMBA calls for the empowerment of UPND cadres. Business owners in Lusaka toast the end of load shedding. In international news, 2 people killed in anti-junta clashes in Guinea. And in sports news, body of a Ghanaian international Christian ATSU found in ruins of devastating earthquake in Turkey. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from ZEPHANIAH 3 verse 17. The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. Thank you once again for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.